Hi, my name is V.E. Schwab, and I am here at the 2025 National Book Festival. When it comes to writing, I am definitely at the architectural end of the creative process. I am not a fly by the seat of my pantser. I am somebody who likes to play God. I like to understand every single piece of scaffolding, every single room, every single decoration in this metaphorical house that I'm building. And so I tend to spend a year pre-writing and kind of building the design. And then for me, the process of drafting is executing that design. So I'm definitely the least organic person when it comes to this, but it gives me what I need to know that there's enough story to tell. I write horror, I write fantasy, I would say the only thing I don't write is pure realism. I'm not really interested in a world without any magic or monsters. So even when I'm hewing pretty close to reality, I have a point of departure because I'm interested in the speculative intruding upon our world. Bury Our Bones, The Midnight Soil follows 3 women over the course of nearly 500 years, and because my process is what it is, I plan the entire story in its narrative order, so the order in which the reader will experience it, and then I break it out into the chronological order as each of the 3 main characters experiences it. I then write the story in that chronological order, from oldest to youngest, and then I reassemble the book. And in theory, it will work. And in practice, it's usually a little bit harder. What I will say is I made a decision to end one of the characters' narratives, one of their voices, at the midway point in the story. So from the moment that one character meets another character, there's a kind of narrative baton handoff, and we are never back with that first character again. It has been a very contentious decision. I stand by it, though, because something is happening in that first character's existence that I feel no longer makes them a very reliable narrator. There are only 2 scenes in this entire book that made me cry. I am a fairly soulless person when it comes to writing. Character deaths don't really do it for me. I have been planning them for too long. But there is one scene in this book specifically that breaks my heart. It is a scene where Charlotte, a girl who fell in love with her best friend when they were 16, and that girl was too scared to pursue it because of the time period that they were in. And Charlotte becomes a vampire and goes and sees that young girl who's now an old woman. And that old woman asks if she ever found someone brave enough to love her. And she's having this conversation with Charlotte because she thinks Charlotte's a ghost. She thinks Charlotte's dead and that she's being haunted. And essentially what that tells us is that every day since their paths parted, that old woman has imagined Charlotte still in her life.